Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are live for the Cowboys and the Raiders today on Monday Night Football. On a little bit later. The game started a few minutes ago, and each team has already had actually one possession in this game. But the Cowboys have the football. Raiders just punted on a few minutes later than I wanted to be, so sorry about that. But Cowboys and Raiders on Monday Night Football should be interesting. Took the Cowboys in this game, I believe 30-20. Hold on one second. Let me pull up the chat. I just clicked in the wrong thing, though. Let's see. Here we go. We also put out a poll. Who you guys think will win? Alright, Cowboys or Raiders? There's the poll. Be sure to vote on that. I took the Cowboys 30-20. Well, hopefully this is a pretty entertaining game. Can't be much worse than last night's game. So obviously I wasn't live for the first drive of the Cowboys, but CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens both sat out the opening series for the Cowboys because of discipline reasons, or coach's decision. So that is definitely interesting without their top two targets, but they are both on the field for this possession for Dallas. So they take over the football 1st and 10 on their own 4, and they start the handoff. Javonte Williams up the middle, and he's got a good run there with 10 yards right there, and close to a Cowboy first down. A good run right there to start the drive for the Cowboys. Cowboys on their first drive went 3 and out. The Raiders, they also punted, although they did pick up a first down. They went 4 plays, 22 yards. 2nd and short, they go back to the ground. Williams has a first down. Although this time, not as much space, and he'll gain about 2. But it is enough to move the sticks. Javonte Williams, 734 yards, 8 touchdowns on the year. He's had a really nice year in his first year in Dallas. Averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Play action here. Dak looks to throw. Plenty of time. Pump fakes. Now gets pressure. Ball's on the ground. The ball comes out, and it's recovered by the Raiders. Dak Prescott fumbles, and the Raiders are going to take over inside the red zone. Max Crosby with the strip sack, and the Raiders with excellent starting field position. He had plenty of time initially, and then time ran out. Yeah, that is definitely a fumble. Max Crosby with the strip sack, and the Raiders recover and have the ball inside the red zone. But a huge play by this Raiders defense. And let's see if their offense can do something with it. Now, obviously, they are going to review it. All turnovers do get reviewed, but this is definitely a fumble. The ball gets knocked free before he starts. The arm starts to come forward. And yeah, they do confirm it, and the Raiders take over the 15. So Geno Smith in shotgun, Genty to his right. Smith looks to throw. Geno pressured and dropped for a sack. A loss of 8 on the play. Kenny Clark with the sack for the Cowboys. And it's 2nd and long here for the Raiders. So back up to the 22, second and 17. Gino throws the flat for Genti. And Genti, after the catch, he's knocked out of bounds. Gain of about 6. Brings up third and long here for the Raiders. Actually, mark it third and 12. Only give him 5 on the catch and run. So it's a third and 12. Gino in shotgun, Genti to his left. Bring Brock Bowers in motion. Bunch 3 receivers to the right side. Gino looks to throw. Has time. Gino throws. End zone. Incomplete. Behind his receiver was Trey Tucker, the intended target. And it's 4th down. He tries to go back. Shoulder just throws him a little too far behind him. And it's incomplete. The Raiders, they get the turnover, but not going to do much with it. They'll be forced to settle for a field goal. As here is Daniel Carlson. 95% from 30 to 39 yards in his career. And he's got it right here. Right down the middle is 3-0 Raiders as they capitalize off the Dak Prescott fumble. So the Raiders get points. Obviously, they would have liked it to be a touchdown, but I'm sure they'll just take the points considering their offense doesn't score many of them. But it's a 35-yard field goal for Daniel Carlson. And it is now 3-0 Raiders. The Cowboys offense not off to a very hot start. A 3-and-out, and then a lost fumble in the red zone. Or inside their own 20, I guess, is the better way to put it. But not a great start. So far in the poll, everyone has said the Cowboys will win. Be sure to vote if you have not already done so. And I think I said the same thing. Let me check my score prediction while we're at commercial. Let's see. Yeah, I said Cowboys 30-20. That is my prediction for the game. We got 7:55 to go in the first quarter. Cowboys gonna get the football back, obviously. We'll wait for them to come back from commercial here. The Cowboys will get it back, down by 3. With 8 minutes to go, or about that, in the first quarter. So 7:55 to go in the opening quarter. Cavante Turpin back deep to receive. Carlson kicks off. And Turpin fields it on the bounce at the 8-yard line. And Cavante Turpin makes a cut, and is swung down to 31. That is where the Cowboys will take over for their third possession. So from their own 31-yard line, Prescott in shotgun, Williams to his left. Prescott looks to throw. A quick throw is caught by Pickens. Getting for a gain of 13 up to about the 44-yard line. Quick throw and catch, and a first down for the Cowboys. So first and 10, they bring Ferguson in motion and hand off to Javonte Williams to the left side. And he'll pick up 4. Solid run on first down. So second and 7. Play action here. Prescott throws flat for fullback Lipke, and he's going to get to the 39-yard line. Solid catch and run right there, another first down for the Cowboys. So first and 10 from the 39, they get to one quickly. Hand off to Javonte Williams right side, breaks the tackle and gains 8. Nice running right there. Six minutes to go in the first quarter. Prescott under center. Prescott looks to throw. That pass knocked at the line of scrimmage, nearly picked off by a lineman. But it falls incomplete. Well, that was close to getting picked off. It deflected right to him, but he just can't make the play. So it's now a 3rd and 3. Prescott in shotgun, look to throw. Prescott gets pressure, rolls left, throws one downfield incomplete, out of bounds in the area of CeeDee Lamb, and it brings up 4th down. So it's 4th and 3. Cowboys going to bring on the field goal unit for a 50-yard attempt. This is pretty much a chip shot for Brandon Aubrey. 5 of 6 on the season from 50-plus yards, 88% in his career. This from the right hash, and Aubrey's kick right down the middle. It's not even hard for him. A lot of kickers, they can barely make a 50-yarder, or not very consistently. Aubrey can make it in his sleep. So it's a 3-3 game, 5:36 to go in the first quarter. The Cowboys get themselves on the board, answer the field goal from the Raiders with a field goal of their own. It is now 3-3. Overall, a decent drive right there for the Cowboys. They were able to move the football effectively. Drive does end up stalling and they forced settle for 3, but they were 37 yards in 7 plays. Just 2 minutes. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. So far, results in the poll: 86% of guys said the Cowboys win. 14% have said the Raiders. Be sure to vote if you have not already done so. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Game tied at 3. Now the Raiders can get the football back. Punted on their first drive, and then technically went 3 and out in their second drive, though obviously did kick the field goal. So Aubrey kicks this off here, and it is fielded at the 5. And on the return here is that Raheem Mostert? I didn't even know he was on the Raiders. Mostert brings it back to the 27. And that is where the Raiders will take over with 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. So the Raiders offense back onto the field from their own 27. Brock Bowers goes in motion. They fake the toss to Genti to the left. Geno rolls right, throws underneath, and that's caught by, I have no idea who that is. And he's out of bounds at the 47. Oh, that's Jack Besh, the rookie receiver from TCU. I don't really know this Raiders team that well, so I'll probably be saying I have no idea who that is a lot. But a good pickup right there for the Raiders. And here's first and 10 from the 46. Play action again. Geno throws one downfield. That one's caught by Bowers to the 37-yard line. And a first down for the Raiders. He had a huge game a couple weeks ago against the Jaguars. It was very nice to someone who's got him in fantasy. I should be good this week, but obviously I do have him playing. But my opponent does have CD Lamb, so kind of a big game for me, but I think I should still win as long as Brock Bowers doesn't do nothing and CD Lamb doesn't go for 50 points, but seems like I'm okay right now. First and 10 from the 38. Geno play action again. Rolls right, throws downfield. That one's caught inside the 20 down the 17-yard line. That's another guy I have no idea who that is. Ian Thomas? That's a name I haven't heard in a while. But Ian Thomas makes the catch right there for the Raiders, and it's a good pickup, and it's a good looking drive. They get the ball inside the red zone. So first and 10 here. Geno Smith, 7 completions on 8 attempts to 6 different receivers. Here he throws one of the flat for Genti, and he's actually out of bounds after a loss of 3. And it'll bring up 2nd and 13. Demarion Overshown with the tackle right there. In his first game this season after tearing his MCL, ACL, and PCL in Week 14 of last year against the Bengals. Obviously glad he's back on the field. And here is a 2nd and 14. And here's Geno to throw. Throw underneath. That pass broken up. Looking for Trey Tucker, but is knocked away by Deron Bland. And it's 3rd and 14. Just the second incompletion of the day for Geno Smith. Brings up 3rd and 14 from the 21. Motion Genti out wide. Geno looks to throw here. Geno pressured and dropped for a sack. It's a big 3rd down sack for the Cowboys. Brings up 4th down. And the Raiders are going to be forced to settle for a field goal once again. So it's 4th and 20, and it brings on Carlson for a 45-yard field goal try. So from the right hash, here is Carlson. And his kick is just going to get in between the left upright, or inside the left upright, and it is good. So it's 6-3 Raiders after another field goal. The Raiders have had a lot of players come and go over the last 2 years. Yeah, they really have. But a pretty solid drive right there for the Raiders before they get to the red zone and do nothing. They go 7 plays, 46 yards. And I mean, that was a really good drive until they got down to the red zone. But then they went -4, incomplete, and then a sack. But they moved the ball effectively and take 3:34 off the clock, and they're now up 6-3 with 2:02 to go in the first quarter. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. Hold on 1 second. Alright, but we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Obviously, a 6-3 Raiders lead. After another field goal from the Raiders. Carlson has now made 2 field goals, 45 and... is the other one 35? Yeah, 45 and 35. So Carlson kicks off here, and this kick drives Turpin back to the 1, and I'll take it out from there. Across the 20, get across the 25, get to the 30, and it's brought down to the 32. That is where the Cowboys offense will take over for their 3rd possession. No, this is their 4th possession. 3 and out, fumble, field goal, and here's possession number 4. A minute 55 to go in the first quarter. Raiders lead 6-3. Prescott off play action here. Sets his feet, throws over the middle, wide open receiver is George Pickens. And Pickens gets to midfield before he's taken down. Nice throw and catch right there. Pickens, I believe, his 2nd catch Prescott looks to throw here. Now rolls to his right. And floats one downfield. There's Pickens again. Got hit hard. But holds on to the football. And another 15 for the Cowboys. And another Dallas first down. Back-to-back nice completions for George Pickens. He was wide open here. Pickens 3 catches for 46 yards. Here they go to the ground with... I don't know who 43 is. We'll pick up 5. That's Malik Davis. With the carry right there for the Cowboys. It's only his 4th carry of the season. He's run it 3 times for 6 yards. Didn't play at all last year. Here they go back to the ground. This time Javonte Williams gets in. He gets a first down. Down into the red zone to the 19. Actually make the 18-yard line. And a great drive so far for the Cowboys. He's going right down the field. And that's also going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. So we enter the second quarter. The Raiders lead 6-3. The Cowboys moving the football really effectively here. And kind of what you'd expect when neither team is great defensively. So it's 6-3 at the end of the first quarter. And the ball on the Raiders' 18-yard line. Cowboys have it 1st and 10. Hey, how's it going? Raiders offense, man. Yeah, they had a decent drive the last time, but couldn't put it in the end zone. And they've also gifted the ball inside the red zone. Didn't do anything with it. But some stats from that first quarter. Cowboys 104 yards. Raiders at 66. Both teams well over 5 yards of play. Both teams over 60 yards passing. But the Raiders minus 1 yard rushing. Cowboys 44 yards rushing. And 1 turnover from the Cowboys. But I mean, both teams moving the ball fairly effectively. This drive for the Cowboys, 4 plays, 50 yards, which is already the longest drive of the day by either side. The previous one was the Raiders drive we just saw with 46 yards. Playing against Javonte Williams, you need less than 39 points, and you win. Doesn't sound too bad. I'm playing against CD Lamb, but I've also got Brock Bowers, so the thing is, hopefully they at least cancel each other out. Worst case scenario. Right now I'm up 118 to 90. So I'm liking my chances. Especially because CD Lamb didn't catch a pass in the first quarter. Yeah, it sounds like we're both in a pretty good spot. Let's weigh him out for the game. Now, he just didn't play the first drive, but he's been on the field. So a 1st and 10 here from the 18-yard line as we start the second quarter. Dak looks to throw, takes a shot at the end zone for Pickens. That pass is, wow, he caught that with one hand, but he was out of bounds. Yeah, he was out of bounds, but that's already an insane catch. Just to be able to catch that. That's insane. Yeah, about to put the game on. Yeah, I didn't see the first drive either. I just got the notification that he wasn't in the game, him and Pickens, but they've both been on the field since. And they're both in the field now. 2nd and 10. Prescott, again, end zone. Open receiver, CeeDee Lamb for a touchdown. The Cowboys, with the game's first touchdown, right up the seam. It's an 18-yard touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb. And the Cowboys take the lead for the first time today. They could have thrown it to anybody besides him. And that would have been great. But it's a 6-play, 68-yard drive. They take 2:21 off the clock. The Cowboys, they go right down the field and score the game's first touchdown. And then Brandon Aubrey adds the extra point to make it 10-6 as the Cowboys lead the Raiders. You're 9 seconds into the second quarter. It's a 10-6 Cowboy lead. Yeah, that was an easy touchdown. He was wide open. Easy throw, easy catch. Not much difficulty to that right there. So it's 10-6 with 14:51 to go in the first half. Dak Prescott is now 5 of 9 for 79 yards and a touchdown. But we wait for them to come back from commercial here. So far, results in the poll: 89% of guys said the Cowboys win, 11% have said the Raiders. Be sure to vote if you have not already done so. Cowboys got this game. I'd agree. I think it might be interesting because the Raiders should be able to put us some points as long as they can finish driving the red zone. Because obviously the Cowboys' defense is bad, but I would agree. I think the Cowboys win. I took them to win by 10, 30-20. James Franklin finally got a job. Yeah, I saw that. Going to Virginia Tech. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense for both sides. I mean, James Franklin's going to win you games. And I mean, he's a good coach when it doesn't come to winning big games. But I think he's going to do a good job at Virginia Tech. I like the hire for both sides. Makes sense for James Franklin. Makes a lot of sense for Virginia Tech because they have not been good. He's going to make them consistently good. It might not be right away. And there's also not extremely high expectations right away. So you're also not going to be playing in these big games, which James Franklin can't win, but you don't have to worry about those for a few years. So I think it makes a lot of sense for both sides. But that's one big name off the board in terms of coaches, and one power conference job filled, but a lot more to go. Aubrey kicks this off here. Raheem Mostert fields at the 11, and Mostert crosses the 30 and tripped up at the 31. On the topic of college coaches, I saw this before. According to The Athletic, Ole Miss has given Lane Kiffin a deadline, and he must decide his future with the team before November 28th, which is their game against Mississippi State. That doesn't make any sense because let's say Lane Kiffin does decide he wants to leave. Who's coaching Ole Miss when they make the playoff? That makes no sense. So it's kind of weird what Ole Miss doing right there. Geno pressure here steps up, pump fakes, and he's going to run it himself here and he'll slide after a gain of 8. So here is a 2nd and 3. Geno in the pistol. And he'll hand it off here to Raheem Mostert. and Mostert's going to get a first down, got 4, and the Raiders moved the chains. Raiders offense very pass heavy to start this game. 12 pass plays, 3 run plays. So 1st and 10 from the 42. Play action here. Geno throws to the flat, bounces it to him, looking for Trey Tucker. And it's 2nd and 10. So from the 42, delayed handoff here to Genty up the middle. He's got space. Genty has a first down, gains 11. And a good run there on the draw. So 1st and 10. Geno under center. They fake the Genty, and they'll set up the screen for him. Oh, he drops it, though. It's a drop by Ashton Genty, and it brings up 2nd and 10. Ashton Genty this year has just 1 run of more than 20 yards. But last year he had 25 with Boise State. Obviously, that is a lot different in terms of level of competition, but you would still expect him to be able to break off a little bit more than 1 20-yard run. Geno pressured here, still on his feet. Then he's dropped for a sack back at the 44-yard line. And the Cowboy defense with their 3rd sack. Here in this first half, Quinnen Williams with the sack. Obviously, the new trade addition for the Cowboys. They do have quite the duo on the inside with Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams now. 3rd and 19. Geno steps up. Geno gets pressured. And he'll throw the flat, caught by Genty, coughs up the football, and that might be incomplete. The Raiders are able to dive on it if it is completed, but they're going to say incomplete. And the Raiders forced to punt it away with 12 minutes to go in the first half. I don't know, Genty never has this one. So it's 4th and 19. And the Raiders punt it away. So A.J. Cole played a great game last week in the punt fest between the Broncos and Raiders. That was on Thursday night. He's on to punt it away. We got a flag here going against the Raiders. Delay game, backs him up 5. So Cole punts it away. And Turpin fields it at the 7-yard line with nobody near him. And Turpin splits defenders and up to the 21. So a good return there for Cavante Turpin. And that is where the Cowboys offense comes back onto the field. They're up 10-6 with 11:49 to go in the first half. Hold on 1 second. So we wait for them to come back from commercial. Cowboys get the football back. The offense had a great drive at their last possession. And they've really gotten going over the past couple drives. Obviously, the last drive, 68 yards and a touchdown. The drive before that, not quite as good. They still got inside Raider territory and kicked a field goal. And they went 10-6. That previous drive for the Raiders was a 7-play, 9-yard drive that ended up being just 9 yards once you factor in the penalties and the sacks. So it is 10-6. Cowboys get the football back. Let's see what they can do with the offense on the field this time. Alright, so back from commercial. Cowboys take over at about their own 20. Ball's actually on their own 21. Cowboys, a great second quarter team, lead the NFL in second quarter points and touchdowns with 115 points and 14 scores in the second quarter. Here's the handoff to Javonte Williams. He's hit hard at the line of scrimmage and dropped right there for no gain. 52 Roberts with a tackle. Nice tackle right there. Landon Roberts, in his fourth team in 10 years, former 6th-round pick by the Patriots. The guy who made the stop. So 2nd and 10. Prescott quick throw outside for Pickens. And Pickens going to fight his way forward for about 9 yards. Going to be, looks like just short of first down, but they might give it to him. They are going to give it to him. So first down Cowboys. 10 yards right there on the catch and run. Good work after the catch from George Pickens. He's just able to power through the defender. Well, Jamal Adams is on the Raiders now? I did not know that. These guys haven't heard of in like 3 years. Prescott gets pressured here, tries to throw to the flat for Ferguson. Looks like he makes the catch. Gain of 5. Somehow Ferguson able to catch that. I thought that might have bounced. Yeah, that does bounce. So after replay assist, that is an incomplete pass. Definitely the right call. The thing that annoys me is replay assist should be able to do anything. Like, they shouldn't have to only be allowed to do certain things. With like, it doesn't make any sense that some things have to be challenged, some things have to... It can be done by replay assist like that. Like, I don't get it. Like, obviously, replay assist is great, but I just think it should be used for everything. Here's a quick throw to George Pickens for a gain of 6, and it brings up 3rd and 4. And Pickens signals first down, even though he's still 4 yards short. So it's 3rd and 4 from their own 38. Prescott gonna look to throw here. Raiders bring 4. Quick throw over the middle, caught by Lamb. First down, Cowboys to the 47-yard line. And they move the sticks on 3rd down. Dak Prescott, 8 of 13 for 111 yards and a touchdown. They go to the ground here. Javonte Williams cuts inside. Or this is actually Davis. Just give him about 9 yards. So 2nd and 1, 8:35 to go in the first half. They go back to the ground here. This time Javonte Williams. And Williams gains 3. First down, Cowboys. Cowboys more than double the amount of total yards the Raiders have. Cowboys close to 170, Raiders at about 80. So Prescott under center. Javonte Williams is the back. Play action here. Prescott gonna foot one downfield for Lamb. He makes the catch inside the 20 and is knocked out of bounds at the 14. Another nice throw and catch to CeeDee Lamb and a first down for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, off play action on the year, 81% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. This time they go to the ground. Javonte Williams, no gain. Taken down by Max Crosby at the line of scrimmage. Another good drive for the Cowboys. 9 plays, 65 yards. They've taken about 5 minutes off the clock. .6:45 to go in the first half. Ball on the 14. 14, 2nd and 10 Cowboys. Prescott looks to throw. Checks down to Williams in the flat. Makes man miss. And he's pretty much taken down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. It brings up 3rd and 10. So 3rd and 10. Devontae Turpin goes in motion. Play clock at 5. They get the snap off. Prescott steps up. Throws short of the first down for Whipke. Makes the catch. Fights through contact. Got 9. Needed 10. So it's going to be 4th and 1. So it's a decision here for the Cowboys. I like the decision to get aggressive here. Especially because the Raiders' offense hasn't done a whole ton. So it's 4th and 1. But we got a timeout called by the Cowboys. So 4th and 1, they will go for it. The offense is on the field for the Cowboys. So Prescott in shotgun, Williams to his left. Williams motions out of the backfield. Prescott throws, end zone, call for a touchdown. Jake Ferguson makes the catch, and the Cowboys score on 4th down. It is now 16-6. About to be 17 after the extra point. But a nice 4th down conversion right there. Jake Ferguson with the 5-yard touchdown. And the decision to go for it on 4th down works. Ferguson wide open in the middle of the field. So 12 plays, 79 yards, and before the extra point, we got whistles, and it's going to be a false start against the Cowboys. So it backs him up and makes the extra point 38 yards instead of 33 yards. But likely not a problem for Brandon Aubrey. Dak Prescott now 12 of 17 for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. With the extra point for Aubrey, he's got no problem being 5 yards further. And it is now 17-6 as the extra point is good. So 17-6 with 5:16 to go in the first half. The Cowboys now up by 11 with 5:16 to go in the first half. Another great touchdown drive right there. As that drive for the Cowboys, 12 plays, 79 yards, that takes 6:33 off the clock. And they've really gotten the offense going. They've scored in their last 3 drives, back-to-back touchdown drives. That was 12 plays, 79 yards this drive. The last drive was 6 plays, 68 yards. And the field goal drive before that, 7 plays, 37 yards. So after a slow start offensively, they've really gotten it going. We'll have to see how the Raiders' offense responds. They haven't done much. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Dak Prescott, 2 touchdown passes so far today. After that drive, Dak Prescott now 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. On 12 of 7 passing. And the Cowboys offense over 200 total yards. Alright, so they're back from commercial here. And let's see what the Raiders can do on this possession. The offense has just 6 points. They were practically gifted 3 after a fumble. So the return here, not much space. Can make a man miss the 20 and get to the 22. Not a very good return right there for 23. I don't know who that is for the Raiders, but doesn't do a great job. So 1st and 10, 5:07 to go in the first half. Jake Ferguson just caught his 7th touchdown of the year. That is tied for most in the NFL by a tight end. So Geno under center. Look to throw here. Geno throws downfield. That's caught by, I think that's Bowers. The 38. Yeah, it is Brock Bowers. That's good. I need him to keep pace with CeeDee Lamb in terms of fantasy. I'll take another catch. Let's see how we're doing. We came into the game up by like 25, so as long as Brock Bowers can pretty much just get half of what CeeDee Lamb has done, that'll be fun. Right now, CeeDee Lamb 14.5, Bowers 8.1. I'm still up by 16. So 1st and 10 here from the 38. Smith under center, looks to throw, rolls right. And Geno throws one downfield, incomplete, dangerous throw in the double coverage. Looking for Trey Tucker. Very pass-heavy approach so far for the Raiders. 18 pass plays, 4 run plays. Geno to throw once again. That throw back shoulder for Bowers, incomplete. .417 to go in the first half, and here's a 3rd and 10 for the Raiders. The Raiders are 0 for 4 on 3rd down. It's a 3rd and long. Cowboys show blitz. Also, he may have moved early. They're going to let it play out. Geno throws outside. It's caught. 1st down, Raiders. It's their first 3rd down conversion of the game. Tyler Lockett makes the catch and moves the sticks. He got cut by the Titans a few weeks ago. Now playing in his 3rd game with the Raiders after signing here October 27th. He's obviously played with Geno from his time in Seattle. Ties with Pete Carroll as well. Another play-action pass here. Geno looks to throw, and he'll just find Genty in the flat. And Genty turns inside and gains 8 before he's brought down at the Cowboy 40. So a little bit better for the Raiders offense this drive. Still not great, but that 3rd down conversion really helped. So 2nd and 2. Empty backfield here for Geno. Again, he'll look to throw. Throw outside for Genty. Makes the catch as a 1st down, and he's swung down at the 31. We got 3 minutes to go in the first half. Could have actually caught a face mask right there. Definitely should have been called right there. Missed penalty. Another play action pass here. Geno looks to throw. Zips one downfield. Deflected. Intercepted. Looking for Bowers. Got knocked up in the air and picked off. And on the return, it's brought back to roughly the 30-yard line. The Cowboy defense forces the turnover. They knock it up in the air. Marquise Bell picks it off. And right when the Raiders are starting to put a drive together, the Cowboys come up with the interception. Bell picks it off. Murray deflected it. And the Cowboys, with the ball back, still up 17-6. And right when the Raiders had a drive going, too. They're moving the ball effectively right there up to the third down conversion. They had gone 47 yards in 7 plays. And then they got picked off by Marquise Bell. He's trying to get to Bowers. Murray undercuts it and tips it up in the air, and then it goes right to Bell. Off the deflection. Prescott off play action here. Steps up, takes a shot. Way downfield, wants Pickens, and that pass is broken up, nearly picked off. George Pickens did a good job playing defensive back right there to avoid the interception. It brings up 2nd and 10. Pickens does a good job yanking at his arm to make sure he doesn't catch that. So 2nd and 10 from the 31. Now they'll go to the ground. Javonte Williams, he's dragged down for a loss of a yard. And just like that, it's 3rd and long. But that also brings us to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Cowboys lead 17-6. And with the football, they have a 3rd and 10. From their own 31. Actually, technically it's 3rd and 11 from their own 30. The Raiders with 3 timeouts, Cowboys with 2. And who gets the ball? Who's getting the ball? Why can I not remember now? Should be the Raiders, right? I believe the Raiders are getting the ball to start the second half. Yeah, the Cowboys, they went 3 and out in their first drive. So the Raiders have a decent opportunity right here to potentially get a stop, get the ball back, try to put a drive together, and then you get the ball after halftime. So despite being down by 11, they're not out of it. We still wait for them to come back from commercial. Cowboys up by 11, 17-6. Third and 10. Let's see what they can do. With 3rd and 10, Prescott looks to throw, takes a shot up the seam, pass incomplete. There's going to be a flag down, though, looking for CeeDee Lamb. Trying to hit him up the seam. There's a flag down. There's actually 2 penalties. There's a flag back in the backfield here. There's going to be one against the Raiders. They're going to call pass interference. So both penalties go against the defense. Unnecessary roughness goes against the Raiders. Same thing, pass interference. Will decline the personal foul, take the interference call. Tyler Gutton does a good job acting right here. We got a minute 55 here. Cowboys with 2 timeouts. Raiders with 3. So Prescott hands off. Javonte Williams has a lot of space, getting to the right side, cutting back inside, back outside, and he's taken down at the 33. Ball comes out, but they're going to rule him down first. But it's still a big run for Javonte Williams. Minute 35 to go. Yeah, he's definitely down before that ball comes out. So the clock is still running. Minute 20 to go and counting. 2 timeouts for the Cowboys, 3 for the Raiders. And now the Cowboys call a timeout. Not sure what took them so long. But now they call a timeout. So minute 20 to go. 1 timeout now for the Cowboys, all 3 for the Raiders. Cowboys, they've scored on 3 straight drives, back-to-back touchdowns. 1st and 10 from the 32. Prescott, I'm going to false start here against Tyler Smith, left guard for the Cowboys. Moved early. So 1st and 15. Play action here. Prescott steps up, throws that is tipped but caught by Pickens. And Pickens breaking free, might score here, cutting back inside, and he will score. George Pickens, touchdown Cowboys. And it looks like we're going to get flags here on the celebration, but it's a 37-yard touchdown catch for George Pickens. All around bad play right there for the Raiders. But Dak Prescott did a great job here stepping up in the pocket and avoiding Max Crosby. And then finding Pickens, makes a nice move after the catch. And they would cut back inside and just terrible tackling right there with the Raiders. One guy didn't even try to tackle him. It is now 23. About to be 24-6 here in the first half. So it is extra point is good. Oh, there's another flag down. But it was a 48-yard extra point because the unsportsmanlike conduct call against Pickens after the penalty. But if this does go against the Cowboys or against the Raiders, imagine the Cowboys just decline it. Considering they're already backed up. No need to re-kick. Maybe the Raiders wind up offside or something like that. But that's now 3 straight touchdown drives for the Cowboys after a 37-yard touchdown to Pickens. Pickens has been targeted 8 times in the first half. He's caught 6 passes for 101 yards and a score. A lot of talking about it here just for a flag on an extra point. So it's offsides. Somebody wind up in the neutral zone. The Cowboys just declined the penalty. I mean, I guess they could have taken it on the kickoff if they wanted to. But he's now 24-6 with 1:10 to go in the first half. Raiders are finished. Yeah, it definitely looks that way. They look just uninterested to be there. Plus, now they're down 24-6 in the first half. Cowboys must score 50 in this game. But we wait for them to come back from commercial, and we'll see what the Raiders can do here before halftime. I just saw this week 13. That is not next week, but the week after. The Commanders and Broncos will not be flexed out of Sunday Night Football. I don't know why not. Really, the Commanders and Broncos? I mean, yeah, the Broncos are good, but the Commanders aren't that good. Maybe Jaden Daniels is back by then. There's a chance he comes back, but I mean, if I'm the Commanders, I might just shut him down for the year, considering they're like 3-8 or whatever. All right, well, there's already limited options because you got 3 games Thanksgiving and 1 game Black Friday. I mean, there's also really not a ton of great options to move to that Sunday night slot. Sunday games in week 13 are not that good. Yeah, I just saw that. I just looked. There's like, I think I saw Bills Steelers like the best one. It's just not great. So I mean, it sounds bad they're not flexing it out, but I mean, really, it's not that bad because your best games on Sunday, you've got the 5-5 Texans against the Colts. You've got the Rams and Panthers. And you've got the Bills and Bills and Steelers. So maybe it doesn't make sense to not flex that out. So it's really not as bad as it seems. But the Raiders with football here, they got all 3 timeouts, got time. Let's see if they can put a drive together here before halftime. They just did put a drive together, but it got picked off. As they went 7 plays for 47 yards, and then threw a pick. The Cowboys then went 4 plays, 69 yards. A minute 14 off the clock. So 1st and 10 here, throw to the outside from Mostert. And Raheem Mostert knocked it down. That might be a late hit. No flag thrown. I thought that was a late hit. With 58 seconds to go in the first half. So plenty of time. You've got all 3 timeouts as well. Gino looks to throw. Floats one downfield. That pass almost intercepted. Diving attempt at it made by Deron Bland. Trying to fit that ball into a very tight window. And it brings up 3rd and 6. So now we got a flag down. We actually got defensive holding right here. That gives him 5 yards and automatic first down. Gino looks to throw, pressured. Roll to his right, and Gino throws downfield. That's caught by Trey Tucker to the 35-yard line. A nice throw and catch right there. I call timeout right here. 40 seconds left. You got all 3. I call timeout. So they do call one right here. They'll probably put a few seconds back on the clock. But the Raiders, nice play right there. And puts the ball inside Cowboy territory. So 1st and 10, 40 seconds left in the first half. They do put 2 seconds back on the clock. 2 timeouts for the Raiders, 1 for the Cowboys. So Gino in shotgun, Raheem Mostert to his right. Gino looks to throw. Throws underneath that pass caught by Bowers. And Brock Bowers gains about 8. 34 seconds left. And the Raiders look like they call another timeout. Yeah, another timeout call by the Raiders. So now 1 timeout for each team. With 34 seconds left in the first half, 24-6 Cowboy lead. Raiders 164 total yards, Cowboys 253. Gino in shotgun. It's a 4-man rush, look to throw. Gino takes a shot down the sideline, incomplete. Too high for Michael Mayer. The other tight end. Brings up 3rd and 3. It was a 3rd and 3, 29 seconds left in the first half. Gino in shotgun, Mostert to his right. Bring a receiver in motion. Gino looks to throw. They set up the screen for Raheem Mostert. Gets a block, has a first down. And another timeout called by the Raiders. I'm not liking this timeout management. I don't really think you call a timeout right there. I mean, that play didn't last very long. Everyone knows it's a design screen, so you guys are probably still pretty close to line of scrimmage. I probably would have saved that timeout right there. But the Raiders now out of timeouts. And Geno Smith has thrown it 25 times here in the first half. So 1st and 10 from the 25. Geno looks to throw. Pressure. Geno spikes one into the ground. I think this is incomplete. Yeah, they do roll it incomplete. So it's 2nd and 10 with 15 seconds left. So they're not going to throw a flag for grounding here. I kind of understand the thing, or I understand the thinking, because they're He got hit, so it probably wasn't going to reach Raheem Mostert. There's a no flag there. Now 19 seconds, they put 4 back on the clock. From the 25, 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Flag flies the snap. Geno throws incomplete. Miscommunication between him and the receiver. That was Tyler Lockett. And we got a flag down here with 14 seconds left. That was a free play right there. Clowney lined up off sides. So free 5 yards right there. So 2nd and 5 from the 20. Geno looks to throw. Geno pressure, jump pass, just threw it away. 3rd and 5, 8 seconds left. Probably got one play right here, and then a field goal try. If you don't score a touchdown. So 3rd and 5, 8 seconds to go. I think we take a shot at the end zone here. If it's not there, throw it away without grounding it. And then kick a field goal. Although a field goal, doesn't do much. You kind of need a touchdown right here. So 3rd and 5, 8 seconds left. Cowboys, by the way, called their final timeout. So now both teams are out of timeouts. So Geno in shotgun, Mostert to his right. 3rd down and 5 from the 20. Cowboys bring 4. Geno has time. Throws. End zone. Broken up. Looking for Bowers. But it's incomplete. It brings up 4th and 5. And Daniel Carlson comes down to attempt a field goal. I really don't hate this call. A little bit of a wide throw. But I really don't hate the call right there. Go give Bowers a chance. Your best pass catcher. And also a big target in the red zone. It falls incomplete. But Carlson does hit the field goal here before halftime. And the Raiders do get the ball to start the second half. There we go. So 24-9 at the half. Cowboys looking pretty good. The offense playing well. They've scored on 4 straight drives. The Raiders, 3 field goals. It's their 5th time trailing by double digits at halftime, which is tied for most in the NFL with the Panthers. But the weird thing, the Panthers are somehow 6 and 5. But I'm gonna go take a quick break. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go fill my water, use the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. So we got the Cowboys leading the Raiders 24-9 at the half. And a pretty good first half for the Cowboys. The offense looks great. The defense really doesn't look that bad. I mean, the Raiders' offense didn't really help themselves, but Cowboy defense probably was one of their better halves of the season. Although, I mean, you'd have to factor in this against the Raiders, and they're just not very good, but I don't think it's terrible. But we're at halftime. As far as the updated score prediction goes, I originally said the Cowboys 30-20. I think it'll be pretty similar to that. I do think the Cowboys will be well over 30, though, considering they're already at 24. But I'm going to stick with the Cowboys. And let's go with the Cowboys by a score of... Let's see. Let's take them... We'll give another touchdown. It'll be 31. We'll give another touchdown. That's 38. Let's go 41. We'll have 41. That's 2 touchdowns and a field goal. We'll have 41 to... 19, maybe? Let's go 41-19 Cowboys. Or somewhere around there. Well, that's the updated score prediction. And some stats from the first half, when we get to that in a second. Just want to check something real quick. Hold on 1 second. Alright, give me 1 second. Sorry, just try to check something real quick. One second. Alright. But some stats from the first half. We'll start out with the player stats for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, good first half. 13 of 19, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Got sacked 1 time for a loss of a yard. Then for Cowboys on the ground, Javonte Williams, 12 carries for 54 yards. And Malik Davis, 2 carries for 15 yards. Then receiving for the Cowboys, George Pickens, 6 for 101 and a touchdown and 8 targets. CeeDee Lamb, 3 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Whipkey, 2 catches for 24 yards. Jake Ferguson, 1 for 5 and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, 1 for a yard. Same thing with... What am I saying? Ferguson, 1 for 5 and a touchdown. Williams, 1 catch, 0 yards. Jalen Tolbert, no catches on 1 target. Sorry, lost where I was. Now, passing for the Raiders, Geno Smith is 16 of 18 for 167 yards, no touchdowns, and interception. Got sacked 3 times for also 21 yards. On the ground for the Raiders, they hardly did it. They ran the ball 4 times, and 1 of them was a scramble for Geno Smith. Ashton Jeanty ran the ball 2 times in the first half for 10 yards. Geno Smith 1 for 7, Raheem Mostert 1 for 4. Then, receiving Brock Bowers, 4 catches for 58 yards. Trey Tucker, 2 for 30. Ian Thomas, 1 for 20. Jack Bech, 1 for 19. Ashton Jeanty, 4 for 17. Tyler Lockett 1 for 15. Raheem Mostert 2 for 7. Michael Mayer 1 for a yard. Team stats from that first half. Cowboys 15 first downs. Raiders with 12. Cowboys 1 for 4 on third down. Raiders went 2 for 7. Cowboys also perfect on fourth down. They went 1 for 1. Raiders didn't attempt a fourth down. Cowboys 263 total yards. Raiders at 167. Cowboys 7.4 yards per play compared to the Raiders 4.8. Cowboys more effective through the air and on the ground. And Cowboys 2 touchdowns and 2 red zone trips. And the Raiders 0 touchdowns and 2 red zone trips. 5 penalties, 35 yards against Dallas, 2 for 27 against the Raiders. A turnover for each team. No defensive or special team touchdowns, and time of possession almost 50-50. It is 15-12 for the Cowboys, 14-48 for the Raiders. Hold on one second. But the second half should begin with the next couple minutes. We'll see if the Cowboys will continue to dominate or if the Raiders might potentially come back. I don't really expect this game to be that close, but we'll have to see. But let's get this ready for the second half, considering it should start within the next minute or so. The Raiders do get the ball to start the second half. So we'll have to see if the offense can do something. Alright, so we enter the third quarter. Cowboys up 24-9. Raiders with the football. They're getting the football to start the second half. Now, the offense for the Raiders did look a little bit better. As the first half progressed, but the Raiders on their last 2 drives, they went 7 plays for 47 yards and then threw a pick, and 9 plays 50 yards and kicked the field goal. To move the ball a little bit more effectively, with 97 yards on their last 2 drives, as opposed to, what is that, 70-something? About 75 in their first 4 drives combined. So we start the third quarter. Aubrey kicks off. And this one returned from the 8-yard line. Across the 20, it goes across the 30 to the 32. That is where the Raiders take over for their first possession here in the third quarter. For the first possession here in the third quarter. So they toss it to Gentry to the right side, and he's got nowhere to go. He's forced to bounds for a loss of 3. The rookie from Boston College, Donovan Ezeraku, in the tackle for loss. Just the 3rd carry of the day for Ashton Gentry. I wonder if the Raiders considered the ball giving him the ball in the first half before they were down by 15. Probably not, though. Just their 5th run play of the day, compared to 31 pass plays. Gino looks to throw. Throws outside. That is caught by Tyler Lockett. And he'll gain about 7. The Raiders ran the ball just 4 times in the first half, which is the fewest in a first half since 2008 for the Raiders. The Raiders have averaged 3 yards per carry or fewer in 4 straight games for the first time in Raider history. Although they've run the ball somewhat effectively tonight, averaging like 4 yards a carry when they've done it. Here's a throw to the outside for Bowers, but it's knocked down by Bland, and it's incomplete and brings up 4th down. So it's 4th and 6, and the Raiders go 3 and out on the first drive of the half. This punt gonna bounce into the end zone for a touchback. A big kick, but goes into the end zone, and the Cowboys take over at their own 20. So the Cowboys defense continues to play pretty well. A 3 and out forced. It is the first 3 and out of the day for the Raiders. Second drive, they didn't pick up a first down. The other one was the field goal drive, the first one. But that drive obviously started in inside the red zone. So, I mean, they didn't have to do much to get a field goal right there, but still couldn't do anything with the football. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. But we still wait for them to come back. Cowboys get the ball back at their own 20-yard line after the Raiders go 3 and out on their first drive. The Cowboys, they start this drive with a handoff to Javonte Williams, who bounces off defenders and runs for about 6. A good run right there. A physical run for Javonte Williams. Cowboys offense in their first 2 drives, they went 6 plays, 17 yards, punted and lost a fumble. Their last 4 drives, 29 plays, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Touchdowns on 3 straight drives. Got a 2nd and 4 right here. Prescott looks to throw, pump fakes, gets pressured, rolls left. Prescott being chased by Crosby, finds Pickens, and Pickens swung around, breaks 2 tackles, and has a first down. technically only broke one tackle because the second tackle was kind of able to take him down, but it didn't really tackle him. He kind of just made him lose his balance. So, if you want to call it a tackle, it's a tackle. But either way, it's first down for the Cowboys, gained about 4. Pickens, 107 or 106 yards and a touchdown and 7 catches. There's a handoff to Javonte Williams for about 2. 12 minutes to go in the third quarter. George Pickens, 870 receiving yards this season. I think they said that's most all time by a Cowboy in the first 10 games. Well, they took that away very quickly before I can read it. So 2nd and 8 from the 33. Prescott. Looks like he wanted to go deep instead of find Ferguson underneath. And Ferguson going to fight through a defender and gain about 4. So 3rd down and 4. 11:05 to go in the third quarter. So a 24-9 Cowboy lead. So it's a 3rd down and 4. Prescott gonna look to throw. Quick throw caught by Pickens for a first down. Makes a man miss. Still going. Pickens getting to the outside. And going to break another tackle. Raiders looking terrible defensively. Pickens still fighting through contact. Getting all the way to the Raider 43-yard line. Wow, the Raiders defense. They're really bad, especially at that tackling thing, which is kind of important. But it's a simple slant for Pickens. Makes one guy miss. Then he breaks a tackle. Fights through a 3rd defender, a 4th defender, and then lunges forward. Really impressive catch and run right there for George Pickens. Prescott looks to throw here. Finds Lipke in the flat. And he's got another 10 yards. Breaks another tackle. And a gain of 12. Wow, this is bad tackling from the Raiders. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens tonight have been targeted 14 times. They've caught 11 passes for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. The rest of the team have been targeted 9 times. They've caught 6 passes for 45 yards and a score. So 1st and 10 from the 3rd. Prescott, hands off, Javonte Williams. Cuts upfield, gains 6. Makes it 2nd and 4. Very solid first down run right there. Second down and 4. Devin White, 50-yard drive so far for the Cowboys. So 2nd and 4. Prescott. Hands off up the middle. Williams first down. Sorry, I think there was just a bunch of static in my mic. I'm not really sure. Let me listen to it real quick. I still don't know why it does that. So 1st and 10 here. Check down to Ferguson. No gain. Yeah, there was a bunch of static right there, so sorry about that. So no idea what causes that. That was pretty bad. Sometimes it's worse than others. Other times it is bad, but not terrible. I don't know what causes it. What causes it to be bad? It's so frustrating. But it's 2nd and 10 here. Prescott looks to throw. Again, finds Pickens on the slant. Pickens break a tackle. Fighting towards the goal line. He's down at the 2. George Pickens playing a really nice game. And for 18 yards right there. They go to the ground here with Williams. Or sorry, this is Davis trying to turn the corner. He's out of bounds after getting a yard. Down to the 2-yard line. So it's 2nd and goal. 6:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. George Pickens not in the game right now. Cowboys 331 yards. Raiders 171. Prescott under center. Fakes it to Williams. Throws the outside. Call for a touchdown. 4th touchdown pass of the day for Dak Prescott. Flournoy with the touchdown. And the Cowboys about to be up 31-9. But it's another touchdown for the Cowboys offense. Now touchdowns on 4 straight drives. "12 plays, 80 yards. They take 7:07 off the clock. And on their first drive of the second half, the Cowboys do the same thing they did in the first half, score touchdowns, and it's 31-9. So we got 6:19 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cowboys up 31-9. I was going to try to do the math real quick, but I couldn't do it fast enough. They're up by... No, that's +9. 22 points. But this has been a dominant performance so far for the Cowboys. 31-9. With still 6:19 to go in the 3rd quarter. Those Raiders really need to wake up. Yeah, they really do. They've looked terrible. But, I mean, the Raiders, they've not been good offensively or defensively. And that's not really a good recipe for success when you're playing a game of football. Considering you need to probably score some points and probably stop the other team. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. We'll see what the Raiders offense can do this time. Still 0 touchdowns on the day against the Cowboy defense, allowing over 30 points a game. So the kick is away, and it's returned here from the 5. They'll cross to 30, get to the 35, and he's going to get pushed across the 35 to the 38-yard line. So a pretty good return right there for the Raiders. Let's see what their offense can do. Quinn Williams tonight in his Cowboy debut, 3 pressures, a sack and a half, and 5 quarterback hits in 24 snaps. Pressures, sacks, quarterback hits, all season highs. So 1st and 10 here for the Raiders. 6:09 to go in the third quarter from their own 38-yard line. Gino in the pistol, Genty behind him. Hold on, this froze because I lost connection for a second. Alright, here we go. Our play behind here, but Gino swing past Genty. And Genty got about 4. Let me refresh this to get back up to live speed. Alright, here we go. So 2nd and 5. Empty backfield for Gino. And a throw to the outside for Bowers. And Bowers gets blockers on the screen. It's going to be about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1 here for the Cowboys. Or sorry, for the Raiders. Oh, that was actually Michael Mayer with the screen right there, not Brock Bowers. Confused the 2 tight ends. Cowboy opponents are 18 for 18 on 3rd and 1 this year. Let's see if the Raiders make it 19 for 19. Gino under center, Genty is the back. And we got play blown dead here. We got a flag. And it looks like this might be a false start. Yeah, it is a false start. It's going to back the Raiders up 5 and make it 3rd and 6. Number 70, Stone Forsyth with the false start right there. So 3rd and 6 here for the Raiders. 4:43 to go in the third quarter. Gino in shotgun. Play clock at 4. Gino looks to throw. Steps up. Throws. That is going to be caught by Bowers. Fighting towards a first down. And he's going to be short. He got 5. Needed 6. That penalty really hurts him right there. And let's see if they end up going for this. Why not? I mean, you're already down 22 points. Yeah, Bowers is short. So half a yard short. I think I go for it here. 4th and 1. There's still 4:11 to go in the third quarter. Cowboys rookie Donovan Ezeraku is down on the field. That's what the delay is. But I was hopeful he's okay. They go to commercial for the injured player. But it's a 4th and 1 for the Raiders. I don't think they do go for it because I just don't think they do. But well, I mean, I just don't think Pete Carroll's the type of guy to go for a ton of 4th downs. And I mean, why not go for it? You're 2 and 7 or 2 and 8, 2 and 7. You're down by 22 points. Why not? I'd go for it, but we'll see what they do. It's also not like it's 4th and a mile. It's 4th and 1. Really half a yard. And you're also pretty close to midfield in your own 47. I'm going for this. 100%. We'll see if the Raiders decide to do the same thing. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. As hopefully Ezraku's okay. Alright, now they're back from commercial. Ezraku looks okay. They will go for it here on 4th down. But I like the decision. They toss it to Genti, and Genti makes a man miss. Fights towards the 1st down. He's close. I think he got that. Looks like they will give it to him. Let's see what happened to Jonathan Ezraku in that last play. Like, he got pushed into the left tackle and then just took a hard fall. But he looks okay over on the sideline. So 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Gino in the pistol. Play action here. Gino throws the flat for Mayer. And Michael Mayer stiff arms the guy and is out of bounds after getting about 9. He's always a player I liked. Obviously, watching him at Notre Dame for 4 years. As a Notre Dame fan is a big reason why. Mayer's in his 3rd season. Was a former 2nd-round pick in Notre Dame 2023 draft. 6'4", 256 pounds. 2nd and 2. Gino throws quickly to the outside, caught by Trey Tucker. They get a blocker out there, and Tucker gets to the 32 before he's taken down. 2:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. So 1st and 10 from the Cowboys 32. Quick throw to the outside, and it's dropped by Bowers. They try to set up the screen there. It's 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10 from the 32 after the incompletion. Gino in shotgun, Mostert to his right. Gino, delayed handoff to Raheem Mostert, and he's going to break a tackle in the backfield and gain 2. By the way, Donovan Ezraku back on the field for the Cowboy defense. Glad to see he's okay. But the offense for the Raiders really has been a little bit better. Their last 2 drives before this one, 47 yards and 50 yards. And this one, they've been moving the ball effectively as well. 8 plays, 32 yards. Bowers goes in motion, 3rd and 8. Now Genti shifts as well. Gino looks to throw. Throws outside. That pass caught by Lockett for a 1st down. He's out of bounds after getting about 10 and a 1st down for the Raiders. The offense for the Raiders has woken up a little bit. They still need to get the ball in the end zone a few times to try to catch up. But they have moved the ball more effectively over their last few drives. So 1st and 10 from the 19. They hand it off here. Genti, nowhere to go. Lost a yard, maybe 2. Kenny Clark getting the tackle for us right there. So 2nd and 11, potentially the final play of the third quarter. Geno looks to throw, steps up. Geno gets pressured, still on his feet. Geno chased from behind and dragged down for a sack. Actually, they're going to give him a yard or two. So it's not going to be a sack. So it's going to be a gain of about 2, maybe 3. But it will bring us to the end of the third quarter with the Cowboys leading the Raiders 31-9. Ashton Jeanty averaging just 1.4 yards per carry before contact this season. That is worst in the NFL. I mean, that's also part of the reason that Jeanty hasn't been good as a rookie. He is running behind a terrible offensive line. I mean, you look at Ashton Jeanty today, 5 carries, 8 yards. I mean, obviously you want to run the ball with him more than 8 or 5 times. And this year, 143 carries, that's 15th in the NFL. For 547 yards, that's 19th in the NFL. 4 touchdowns is tied for 25th. And he's averaging just 3.8 yards per carry. So, I mean, I think it's more because the offensive line just doesn't exist when he tries to run, as opposed to he's just not good. Because I do think Jeanty's a very talented player. Now, something I was thinking about the other day, it reminded me of this thinking about Ashton Jeanty. But, so Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love, obviously having a really good year, not quite as good as Jeanty in terms of numbers wise, but he's still a really good player. And I was thinking about this. I think Jeremiah Love might be a better running back prospect than Ashton Jeanty. Because obviously both really good running football, but I think Jeremiah Love definitely has the edge when it comes to catching the ball as well as in pass protection. So, I mean, Jeremiah Love is a really good running back prospect. I'm excited to see how he can how the draft process goes for him and how high he goes. Because Jeanty already went, what, 5, 6, somewhere around there? Yeah, he got taken 6th by the Raiders. So, I mean, if Jeanty got taken 6th, then Jeremiah Love is better than Ashton Jeanty, I think. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But I do wonder how high Jeremiah Love does end up going. First play of the fourth quarter here is a pass to Brock Bowers. He's going to be short of a first down. It's 4th and 4. So the Raiders are probably going to go for this here. They will keep the offense out there. Already 1 for 1 on 4th down today. 12 play, 49-yard drive, taking 7 minutes off the clock. 4th and 4 from the 13. They've got to get to the Cowboy 9. Geno in shotgun, Jeanty to his right. Play clock winding down. They'll get the play off. Geno looks to throw. Steps up. Geno could run for it. Gonna try to run for it. Geno's got a first down. Might have a touchdown, no, slide short. At the 5-yard line. But Geno moves the sticks with his legs. And the Raiders now 2 for 2 on 4th down in this drive. And today. So 1st and goal here. Geno Smith leads the team in rushing yards today with 15. That's bad. 1st and goal for the Raiders from the 6. Throw to the outside for Trey Tucker. Gets blockers. Tucker into the end zone. Raiders touchdown. Takes a while, but the Raiders finally get in the end zone and they cut into this Cowboy lead. 31-15, could be 31-16, or even 17 if you decide to go for two right here and cut it to a 14-point game. But Trey Tucker with the touchdown. They set up the screen for him. We got two tight ends, Bowers and Mayer, out blocking for him on the outside. The Raiders will just kick the extra point here, so it'll make it a 15-point game as Carlson nails the kick. And it is 31-16. Cowboys with the Raiders. So 13-22 to go in the fourth quarter. I mean, I guess anything's possible at this point, but still not looking super likely if you're the Raiders. But I mean, that's a big touchdown right there. Makes it a lot more manageable. Only down 15 now. I mean, obviously, there still is a long way to go, but it's a step in the right direction. Something positive, at least. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Cowboys offense has scored touchdowns on 3 straight drives. And they've scored, I believe, 4 straight. Maybe it's 5 straight at this point. I've lost count. I think it's 4. Let's see. Touchdown. Touchdown. No, the Cowboys 4 straight touchdown drives. It is 5 straight. 4 straight touchdown drives, 5 straight scoring drives. And let's see what they can do here. See if they can make it 6 in a row and 5 touchdowns in a row. But it was a 6-yard touchdown for Trey Tucker. And that is how the Raiders got their first touchdown of the game. And it is now 31-16. With 13:22 to go in the fourth quarter. Cavante Turpin fields it on the bounce. And Turpin crossed the 10. Turpin crossed the 30. Turpin, good return, crossed the 40-yard line. The 33 or 43-yard line. Great return there for Cavante Turpin. That's one of the best return guys in the NFL. Big return right there. I don't think he's brawling back for a score yet this year, but still good. Let's see. Has anyone returned a kickoff for a touchdown? I'm not sure. I'll look it up in a second. Or I'm trying to right now, but it won't load. But 1st and 10 from their own 43. Prescott under center. Hands off. Williams runs into a lineman. But again, the Raiders, they cannot tackle. And the Raiders pick up 3. Or the Cowboys pick up 3, sorry. And this is such a bad tackling performance for the Raiders. It is like actually embarrassing at this point. Like, defense cannot make a play. Cowboys have scored 4 straight touchdowns, and they've scored points on 5 straight drives for a reason. This Raiders defense looks terrible. So 2nd and 7. Another toss here to Williams to the left side. Cuts back inside here. This time the Raiders are going to make a play. Maybe because there's 3 guys actually trying to tackle him. But Max Crosby's one of them, the only good player they have on defense. And it is a good pickup right there. Or sorry, a good stop right there for the defense. No gain. So 3rd down and 7. Prescott pressured here, throws that is incomplete. Yeah, incomplete. Tough catch for Turpin to make. And it brings up 4th down with 12 minutes to go. Hold on 1 second. Okay, that was a tough play for Turpin to make. Couldn't hold on. And the Cowboys actually go 3 and out. Gonna snap the streak of 4 straight touchdowns and 5 straight scoring drives. As Brian Anger comes on to punt it away. 11 punts inside the 20. No touchbacks yet this year for Anger. And this is going to be fielded by Tucker inside the 5. Tucker going backwards. He's taken down back at the 2-yard line. Don't really think that was a great decision to field that. And then keep running backwards. You should probably just let that go, or... I mean, if you let it go and the Cowboys able to get there, you're starting pretty much at the same spot. At your own 2-yard line. But not a smart play by Trey Tucker right there. And the Raiders, with quite the challenge ahead of them, starting at their own 2-yard line. Alright, but let's check the kick return number that I was going to check before. Hold on, let me find it real quick. So, special teams returning kickoffs. Let's see. Turpin is 6th in the NFL with 722 kick return yards. He also missed a couple games, though. But in terms of average yards per kick return, Turpin is actually... It's kind of low on the list for what I would have expected. Averaging 25.8, which is actually kind of low. I mean, it's not terrible, but lower than I would expect for somebody who's regarded as one of the best return guys in the NFL. But there has been 3 kickoffs returned for touchdowns this year. The Jets have 1, the Bengals have 1, and the Patriots have 1. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. Raiders backed up deep inside their own territory. The ball on their own 2. It was a 49-yard punt, minus 3 on the return. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. A 31-16 lead for the Cowboys. Actually, they had come back from commercial. Sorry, I was behind somehow. Don't miss a play, though. And instead, the Raiders backed themselves up even further because of a false start. Oh, dang it. Now we lose connection again. Hold on 1 second. So we didn't miss a play, but now we probably did. By the time this reloads again. Oh, we got a safety. I missed the safety, of course. Gendy can't get out of the end zone. Oh, I mean, he might get the ball out there. I'm not sure. That's going to be close. But Donovan Ezeraku, the rookie from Boston College, gets contact in the end zone. The Cowboy defense forces safety. They might take a look at this because this is close. And all scoring plays do get reviewed. It's hard to see right there if the ball crosses the plane and gets back into the field of play. It's really hard to see. It's a weird rule with safety. Well, I mean, not really weird, but it's pretty much the exact opposite of scoring a touchdown. So obviously, when you score a touchdown, you're only going to break the plane. Same thing here. You've only got to just barely get the ball out of the end zone when you are trying to avoid a safety, and it doesn't look like Genty did. But, I mean, it's not his fault. He's got nowhere to run again. He has 6 carries for 6 yards. The Cowboys get the football with 11:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Where the Raiders going to go onside kick here? It looks like they will. I didn't even know you can do that after a safety. That's a. I hate who you have to declare for an onside kick. I really don't like these new kickoff rules. We saw Georgia pull off a surprise onside kick against Texas. On Saturday in college. And I hate how they took that out of the NFL. This new kickoff is so boring. I don't care if there's never any kickoff returns in college. Which, one, that's not true because there is kickoff returns. And if you want to kick it out of the end zone, just kick it out of the end zone. Like, it really bothers me that they fixed the kickoff or changed it. It really wasn't. I had no problem with it. So 11:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Oh, so what they had to do here, they still had to punt it. So what the Raiders did, they just kicked it up in the air and hope Pickens dropped it. No, sorry, it actually bounced right in front of him. Why would you not have yourself in position right there? The Raiders could have caught that on the fly. No, that's a dumb. Why? Wait a minute. I'm confused now. Why couldn't the Raiders have been paying attention, looking at the football, and caught that on the fly? Because if it's an onside kick, it should be a live ball. That doesn't make sense. The handoff up the middle for Javonte Williams for about 4 yards. Another thing I don't like is how you can call for a fair catch on an onside kick. Now, obviously, that's a little bit different because it was off the safety, but you should not be able to call for a fair catch on an onside kick. So 2nd and 7. 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Prescott, quick throw that is going to be caught by Lamb, and will gain 6. Oh, ball came out here. Let's see, was he down first? Yeah, they're going to say he was down. I thought he was. Yeah, he's down. He's definitely down first. CeeDee Lamb caught 4 passes for 61 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, the Cowboys call a timeout here with the play clock winding down. So it's a 33-16 lead for the Cowboys. They hand it off to the fullback here, Lipke, for the first down. Gain 5 on 3rd and short. With 10 minutes to go. So 1st and 10, 9:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Cowboys up by 17. So from the 24, Prescott pressured underneath for Turpin, and Turpin slammed down at the line of scrimmage. Jamal Adams right there. Now the 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. So 2nd and 10 from the 24. Prescott under center, Williams is the back. There's a handoff, Javonte Williams up the middle, breaking tackles. Raiders, wow, they are really bad at that tackling thing, which is kind of important. Max Crosby thought somebody false started, but I think he was actually in the neutral zone. Let's see the flag here. We got unnecessary roughness here against the Cowboys after the play against Tyler Booker. Let's see what happens here. Crosby thought he false started, but doesn't look like he flinched at all. And then Booker after the play. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, he just kind of shoved somebody to the ground for pretty much no reason. I'm sure there was a reason, but didn't look like there was. So the first down stands, but backs the Cowboys up to 26. And now we got play stopped here. So not sure what happened there. But we got 8:21 to go in the fourth quarter. Clock is running. Devontae Turpin goes in motion. Prescott set with the screen for Jake Ferguson. He gets a block. Ferguson stiff arms the guy, and Ferguson out of bounds after a gain of 7. Jake Ferguson, 4 catches for 16 yards and a touchdown. So 2nd and 3. Handoff goes to Javonte Williams to the right side. He'll gain a yard. Played by Max Crosby. With 3rd and 2, Dak Prescott today 23 of 30 for 259 and 4 touchdowns. So Prescott in shotgun, Williams to his right. 3rd and short, Lamb goes in motion. Prescott looks to throw, throws to CeeDee Lamb in the flat. And he got a 1st down, and Lamb is taken down at the 13. Five plays, 66 yards, and a touchdown for CeeDee Lamb. The upcoming schedule for the Cowboys, 5 playoff teams from last season. Eagles, Chiefs both at home, Chiefs on Thanksgiving. And they're at the Lions. The Vikings should be easier because they're not very good this year. And then I don't remember who they said at the end of that. But all 5 of those teams made the playoffs. Oh, the Chargers was the last team. Williams runs ahead here for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 upcoming. But not an easy remaining schedule for the Cowboys. As is, they're already only 3-5-1. Although, probably 4-5-1 after today. Barring a crazy comeback from the Raiders. Javonte Williams today, 21 carries, which is a season high for 92 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 9. Prescott throws outside. That is caught for a gain of 4 by Spanford. .505 to go in the 4th quarter. Third and 2 here for the Cowboys. A 10-play, 33-yard drive. They've done a good job taking time off the clock. 6:50 off the clock as we reach 4:50 to go. With 3rd down and 2, Prescott under center. We're going to hand it off to Williams, and he's going to fight through initial contact, and he'll gain a yard. So it'll be a 4th down here. 4th and 2. Max Crosby on the stop. So 4th and 2. The offense stays out there for Dallas. 4:05 to go in the 4th quarter. Cowboys are probably just going to call timeout right here. Yes, the Cowboys call a timeout. 3:59 to go in the 4th quarter. 4th down and 2. And we'll see what they end up doing. The Raiders, since moving to Las Vegas, they've had 5 coaches, which is tied for the most in the NFL since 2020. Tied with the Panthers, Jaguars, and Texans. They've got just one winning season in playoff appearance. That was 2021. They lost to the Bengals in the 1st round. And they've got just a .409 winning percentage, which is 24th in the NFL. So, it's not been a great time for the Raiders in Las Vegas. So 4th and 2. Prescott gonna look to throw. Raiders bring a blitz. Prescott gets rid of it. It's dropped by Lamb and incomplete. He probably had a touchdown, but CeeDee Lamb couldn't make the play. It was a little bit off target from Dak Prescott, but that play's got to be made. No, I mean, that's not that far off target. That's a pretty good throw from Dak Prescott. Just got to be made by C.D. Lamb. And the Raiders take over with 4 minutes to go in this game. So 33-16, the Raiders get the football back. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. We got 4 minutes to go in this game. 33-16, Cowboys with the Raiders. Cowboys likely to snap their, I believe, 2-game losing streak. Let's see. Cowboys, obviously, they're 3-5-1. Yeah, they'd lost back-to-back games to the Broncos and then Cardinals, also on Monday night. So that'll snap their losing streak. But the upcoming schedule for the Cowboys, they get the Eagles next week at home. Then they put the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Then the Lions on Thursday night. Then the Vikings on Sunday night. We'll get back to that in a second. Gino to throw here. Finds Genty in the flat. And we'll gain 4. Then the Vikings on Sunday night. Then the Chargers at home. They're at the Commanders. And then they play Week 18 at the Giants. And then the upcoming schedule for the Raiders. They've got the Browns next week. Oh, man, that's going to be a terrible game. And they got the Chargers, Broncos, Eagles, Texans, Giants, and Chiefs. Well, that is a tough schedule. They might win 1 game, if that. Here's a throw to the outside for Bowers. Makes the catch, got 4, and brings up 3rd and 1. But I really think the Giants might actually beat the Raiders. That's the interesting thing. It also could be a big game when it comes to determining draft positioning. Because obviously neither team very good. Both teams going to be 2-8. Giants actually 2-9 now. The Raiders going to be 2-8. Both teams could still be fighting for their first win or third win. Who knows? 3rd and 1. Gino looks to throw. Gino pressured, swung around, gets a throw off, but it's incomplete. Brings up 4th down, 2:36 to go. So 4th and 1. The Raiders will go for it. Why not? You're down 17 with 2.5 minutes left. Gino under center. Looks to throw. Gino pressured. Gino sacked. Back at the 6-yard line, the Cowboys take over 1st and goal. With 2:31 to go. The Cowboys pass rush actually looked pretty good today. I mean, they are playing a brutal Raiders offensive line, but they've actually been able to get really good pressure on Geno Smith. 3 guys with pressure right there on Geno Smith. The Cowboys now have a first and goal, 2:31 to go in the fourth quarter. And it's victory formation here for the Cowboys. There's a flag down. They took a knee. How can there be a flag? The Raiders can't do anything right defensively. They got 12 guys on the field. Let's know half the distance to the goal. Still first down. Man, this is a bad performance for the Raiders, especially defensively. But I do think the Cowboys will have to do something on fourth down. Because you can bring this all the way down to 2 minutes. Then you'll snap it again. You can bring it to 2-minute warning right here. You'll snap it on second down. You can bring it down to, I don't know, let's say minute 15. Now, let's just say minute 20. Kneel down doesn't take 5 seconds. Bring that down to a minute 20. You snap it again. Bring it down to 40 seconds. Yeah, you'll have to snap it with 40 seconds for fourth down. And obviously, the clock does stop if you turn it over on down. So you can't just kneel it down again. Although maybe they will, because I mean, the Raiders will be getting it on their own 4 with 40 seconds left, down 17 points. What are they possibly going to do with it? So maybe they will just kneel it down again on fourth down. We'll have to see. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial here at the 2-minute warning. Obviously, this game's already over. But as far as what this game means for the NFL, not a whole ton. Cowboys, they're not going to make the playoffs. Raiders surely aren't going to make the playoffs. The Raiders will remain last in the West. They'll be second worst in the AFC at the moment. They'll fall to 2-9. No, 2-8. Sorry. Tied with the Jets and Browns for the second worst team. Titans is only one win team in the NFL, 1-9. And then for the Cowboys, they'll improve to 4-5-1, which is going to be second place in the NFC East. As the Cowboys take another knee here. Third and goal. Yeah, it's now fourth down. They'll have to snap with about 37 seconds left. Maybe 38. So let's see what they do here. They're just going to take a knee on 4th down. What if the Raiders will just let Dak Prescott stand there for 40 seconds? No, they just take a knee. So 36 seconds left. And now the Raiders get the ball for 1 play. And they'll just run out the clock. The Raiders just take a knee. And that does it. 35-16, or sorry, 33-16. The Cowboys beat the Raiders. Game not very close. The Cowboys are 3rd all time with 51 Monday Night Football wins. Behind the Steelers with 54 and the 49ers with 53. The final score is 33-16 as the Cowboys defeat the Raiders. A great game for Dak Prescott as he throws for 4 touchdowns. Thank you, Nick. Enjoy your week. Thank you as well. Enjoy your week, and thank you for watching the stream. I appreciate it. But Dak Prescott was his 13th game with 4+ touchdowns, most in Cowboys history. Finishes the game 25 of 33 for 268, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Great game for Dak Prescott. Great game for George Pickens as well, as he was the game's winning receiver with 9 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown. And Prescott is also the 3rd quarterback in Cowboy history with 80+ wins, behind Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach. The final score, 33-16, Cowboys beat the Raiders. That's going to do it for this stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I do my best to put this off as possible. Have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.